What up, what up, what up? Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great day. Today's video, I am going to start a little challenge for myself, and you guys can follow along with me if you'd like. I'm going to be using Pionex for this one because I'm going to be challenging the bots that it offers and kind of going over those and the benefits that you can have by utilizing. We could still look at the other exchanges, Bitmart, Biconomy, and always going to use CoinMarketCap because it's kind of the average lump of all of them kind of thing. And it's nice to be able to come back and check and see who's active. We're still, I think Bitmart has emerged as our top exchange. Dominance, which is nice. Glad to see DEX trade falling. I hope people are starting to get comfortable with the new bigger exchanges and moving their coins to one of the bigger exchanges to allow for that volume and the liquidity and that eyesight of the bigger exchanges, so that bigger players can come in and be investors into the project as to go alongside with the miners. But what I got going on that I'm trying to do is I got $300, and what I'm trying to do is a little challenge where I'm going to do the AI bot that they have with their parameters. I'm going to set up my own parameters, and then I'm going to actively trade $100 each and see who could finish this month, coming into December 1st with the higher kind of goal. I'm sure the AI bot's going to smoke me, but just kind of a little fun little challenge, and plus it will show everybody how to set up the bot and maybe how to actively trade and stuff to look throughout. So once you have your deposit and your money is in your Pionex account, it's all in this USD. It'll give you a conversion of what that value is based on Bitcoin. It's just a crypto thing. Everybody likes trying to convert to Bitcoin and showing you what your value is. But before you do any trading for TXC, you have to get it to pair into USDT because there's not a direct USD pairing. So what we want to do is we want to convert our... Well, first off, I hope you guys saw I went here and then I came to convert. Sorry for over talking and going the other direction, but I want to convert my USD, and I'm going to convert it to USDT so that I can actively trade it. I want to do my max conversion, and there's a little bit of a fee, so we're going to confirm that. Boom, converted. So now I can come into trade, and I'm going to start the trading bot. Why is it not letting me trading bot? Oh, are we in that already? Here we go. Create. Oh, my drop down. So we're going to do a copy strategy. So this is using the AI as our parameters and what it sets. I wonder if I have to do... I guess I could do it the monthly one. I wonder what the difference is. We're learning together. If I do the 30-day, it wants a minimum of that. Oh. Okay. That's aggressive. So we're going to do the 30-day because it's not going to take all my money, and I didn't want to do a big account. Just wanted to do a small account so this can be relatable to anybody who wanted to try to jump in, and then as well as just kind of a fun little challenge for me. I'm using Biconomy as well for trading. I just kind of like that layout on that one. I'm learning and I'm liking Pionex though, but I kind of want to use to separate the bigger investment account growing, separate that one from this little kind of like small challenge account. And then if I end up liking Pionex, I might just combine them all into one. But did it already start? Is it already going? Oh, no. Did I miss something? Start copying. 100. there we go. Parameters, confirmation. 284 to 399 is all it's going to trade in right now using 56 grid. So it's a high grid, high frequency, meaning that each profit is going to be, like it's saying, only this range per grid, but it's going to do a lot more. More grids, more frequent trading, they're just going to be smaller profit. So boom, we have this $100 going. So now let's go back. I want to set up my own grid. I'm going to cheat and kind of copy its bottom lower limit, although I don't want to go below. Yeah, we'll do that. 275. And then I'm going to be brave and think that we could go up to 6 if we really feel like it. And it did a 56 grid. I have to be between 2 and 271. I'm going to do 22. Just because I like that number. Was my baseball number back in the day. So $100 for you on that one. Create that bot. Verifying my parameters. So I'm going to get, with the smaller grid selection, I'm going to get bigger profit per trade. But the price has to move more for my trades to be executed. And I'm just not going to get as many trades in those trades. So that is $100 in each one of those. And now I'm going to actively trade my $100. This is just purely me on spot trading. We're going to come into TXC, make sure it's still there. And so looking at this, oh, look at my bots caused that little run up. Good job, bots. When you're looking at your candles, you can choose however you want to do this because these are all for visuals depending on what visual makes sense to you. There's no right one, there's no better one. It's all preference. So you can set each one of these candles as bars. So instead of a candle and a body, it's just lines with little hash ticks on them. Those hash ticks are going to be what represents the close and open, and then the line for it. So to me, that's kind of harder to see. Candles is the default one. They'll do these hollow candles, and that's just to separate and give you a little bit of a distinguished visual. If you don't like candles and you think that that's complicated, you could do lines. I'm curious why it chose to do a black line on dark mode. So we can see that. I don't know why it did that. I'm sure I can jump in there and change the color of the line. I'm sure that's an option. When you're doing the line, you can also do this one called area, where it's the line, same as before, but it will shade in everything underneath. Again, no rhyme or reason, just purely a visual thing for you. Baseline, this is going to give you, a mid-price, based on the time frame and such that you're in, and the farther back you go, obviously that'll change. And whenever this wanted to establish its beginning, that's where you can kind of see dips below and dips above. Again, if this visually helps you see where the market is and which way it's moving, you can use it. I like the Heiken Ashy candles. They're tighter, they're cleaner, the bodies and the wicks all just pop and are way more visual for me to see. So I like this one. When I'm trading, I like to go back into a longer duration to see a bigger trend. We are on the auto fit. Oh, I want to be able to see because we are in a little bit of a downtrend right now, but we are finding support at this level. So if we come in here and we're looking for where is some support, where is some resistance, on how are we going to get a profitable trade in this? Do I need to wait for my entry? Are we going to come back below, or are we going to go back above? I think if I was going to be if I was going to be super picky and try to force a trade, I could try to pull back to this level, but looking at the order book, I don't think it's going to, I don't want it to pull back that far, but I don't think it's going to. I think we are kind of flattening out. This little panhandle is right on here. So I'll go up to 333. And I want this to be 100% of my position. Oh, it's aggressive. 100% USDT. I get the 33 cents because I have the disadvantage of having to go to sleep where the bots get a trade 24/7. So I got my order should fill. Okay. What is our... Maybe not quite filled yet. We'll watch that. Kind of see it's right in the mid. We are a little bit above, so I'm being a little bit more aggressive to getting my order filled versus not. So let's kind of look. I think that one's where. So we can come over here to our lines that we like to draw. These are all the different ones that you're capable of. Again, the ray is you're plotting 2 points, boom, and it'll extend to show you a direction or a trend. And so horizontal lines and extended lines are the ray version, but all the way through both sides. It'll continue on both ends of your dots. Using this kind of in something down the line as we trade more to kind of do it like a back test. Like if you're trying to look into like an area in a range and you're like, yeah, this is kind of a trend, got it plotted, and you're looking at it and you see, where it's at, and then but when you do a ray, you could do these two, and we're like, okay, that's our trend right there, and we'll do another one, and we can see from here to here, so we're getting close to a little breakout point, and that's what you could see on a shorter window. But when you come into this, instead of doing the ray and looking just short term, we do an extended line. And let's use that same tall wick and then the first green wick. So now when we zoom out, we can look and see if those plots carried throughout the life of the chart. Now Pionex has a shorter life on its chart for TXC because it hasn't been listed that long. Obviously, this is when it started back on October 24th. So we do see that it did get close to that zone. It was very close to that zone. It did touch that wick. So without even going to CoinMarketCap, I can see that this is the resistance. This is a resistance line that has been growing and showing throughout the market or throughout the life. But if we go back to this CoinMarketCap, so we can see the longer plot, we can see if those points that we put on this were still valid. So we did an extended. We went pop, pop. Oh, this mouse is so sensitive. Did we do that on the 15-minute on the Pionex? Is that what I did wrong? No, it was on the 4-hour. You can see that the price is a little bit different because CoinMarketCap is taking into account more. So we can see that that line on CoinMarketCap doesn't show as validating as it did on Pionex because we're way up here. We don't have any kind of confirmation in or throughout. So I must have either done a different one and I didn't see it right on this. Because what if we came back and we said it was actually that one? Now we're going to do, for this plot point, which looks more like what I did on the other one, we're using these double double back-to-back full body candles that were just before the wick and a drop, and then we're using this kind of tipping point where we fell off. So, and then when we zoom out, we can kind of see that that window was after the nudge, where we dropped off after the nudge. So that's another kind of like catalyst that caused the move, to show like, hey, this is the starting point. This is once we found out that the nudge was no longer, price turned into a downtrend, or was no longer being supported short term. I don't want to say the nudge is no longer. Don't misquote me on that. The nudge was just being temporarily paused. So again, that doesn't have much long-term validation going throughout. It really just kind of validates from that time period. And so then if we come back here and say, well, let's validate something from back in September, more long-term, and let's see where these points kind of cross up. So we're going to come in before, and none of this range is affecting this price. But if we come up and we see this kind of red, we're in the middle of the nudge that happened, where we saw, I guess you could say, nudge happened, selling pressure hit as in between nudges, I guess we could say, as liquidity was coming in. So let's pick those as a point to see, because that actually, okay, sorry for the jumpy chart. I don't know why my mouse is doing that. Zoom out. And then our point up here, this is the post euphoric moment where we had some indiscretion or uncertainty, and when we look and we see the kind of middle nudge, it kind of follows this trickle down after the downtrend was kind of established. I would say the downtrend was established right here, and so if we come over here and instead of using the raise, we're going to do the full horizontal line, because we were wanting to see how far back this established. And what we're looking for is touch, a lot of touch, and then there was some wicks here, a lot of wick here, big wicks down to here. So this 459 is kind of is a nice big zone where we kind of established a downtrend. So now I'm going to be looking on my trades going up. I'm going to be looking at that level instead of these tighter trades. What I'll probably do going up to that is look for smaller profits. So I'm trying to get in at 333 right now. 10% is 30 cents basically, to get to that 360 level. So I could either do like a half and half, where I'll shoot for a 10% and a 5% profit to kind of ride it up, or I could try to shoot for like a 333 kind of thing and set multiple orders and scale. Kind of depending on how I'm going to be able to watch it is kind of how I do. And then once the market kind of gets active and volume picks up, because we are just in the midday lull where people are working or going on with their life. Equities market's been open for a couple hours, so stocks and stuff are all kind of trading. This doesn't line up with any international timeline, and TXC is one that doesn't even get affected too much, like you'll see like Bitcoin or XRP or Ethereum, where they get affected very heavily in the international trading hours. With TXC not being high visibility into the international market, since it's kind of focused around the regional aspects of Texas, the trading and the activity and news and most of this is going to be kind of geared around Texas time, Central Standard Time. So for me, I'm over here in Nevada, and it's 10 a.m. It's noon over there. Everybody's enjoying lunch and eating barbecue. They probably got barbecue sauce all over their fingers, so they're not clicking on anything and not making any trades. So we are not filled yet. But we are getting closer. Somebody in here trying to steal my order with their 333 repeater. They're slick. So just got my line sitting there on the 4 hour. I do like the 15-minute tighter window, especially kind of when I'm looking for an exit or I'm looking for an entry, because it, being a lot tighter and closer. I'm going to put the 5 moving average on there just for fun, and the 30 because I don't have those. I'm hoping my bots will buy my order. Get me in there. Because if I look at this, we don't have our net. This is a great momentum indicator. And as you can see, look at that. We're starting an upward momentum. So I definitely want to buy. I want to get my order filled. I need somebody to open up the doors and go ahead and sell for a little bit cheaper. If anybody wants to do a market sell, that'd be fantastic. Curious why their colors are backwards. To me, I feel like this should be green because these are buy orders, and these should be red because these are sell orders. I don't know why. Oh. I wonder why that does that. That's weird. So if you're using Pionex, as we just learned, this on your settings for your color scheme, green as bull market. If you change that, it inverts them to where green is sell. I don't know why you'd want to do that. Unless you're colorblind or something. That's goofy. Anyway, I would either do green as bull market or dark mode. I like dark mode because I don't like being blinded by the white light. But if you're somebody who's going to use the line indicator, because the actual line becomes black, I mean, that's kind of cool to watch the moving averages with a black line. But if you're going to do that one, make sure you are in the regular, not dark mode. That way you can actually see. You can actually go back to dark. Sorry for being all over the place for you guys, but I would like to keep this running and get my order filled. So this person is probably my bot. I bet it's my bot right here. If you're ever trying to track bot orders through the market, they're typically going to be kind of these goofy decimal orders. Just to kind of like over, or that's 355. Yeah, some of these are all bot orders. Most of these orders look like bot orders to me in here. Nothing to be concerned about, but looks like I'm going to get missed on filling my order unless we get a little bit of a pullback. I just want to come right here. The moving average 332 says on the 30 moving average for the 30 15-minute candles, the price average was 30.32, which is what I'm trying to get my order filled at, and nobody's cooperating. So while that's kind of sitting, let's go look at the other ones and just kind of walk through and get familiar with some of the other exchanges and the tools that you can use on them. Biconomy already kind of starts in a dark mode, and I think you can pick that as well if you want. Again, I like dark mode because it's easy on the eyes. Moving averages, everything is very tight right now. So looking at this pattern-wise, we are seeing consolidation. We are in accepted price range of the bots, of the algorithms, and of the buyers. So there's no kind of crazy breakout. Sellers are probably cooling. That pressure is probably mellowing from sellers. Just waiting for buyers to step in and take control of this, because we have been in a sellers controlled market for a good while. But if you look at the depth of the orders, this is a cool tool that Biconomy has. And even if you don't have your coins on Biconomy, if you have your TXC on Bitmart or MEXC or Pionex, you could still use the other exchanges for their tools. Um, uh, and maybe their layout, maybe you because you're using a bot on Pionex, but you like looking at the charts on Biconomy or on CoinMarketCap or Bitmart even, but you want to use the Pionex bots. Totally fine. Throw all your coins on Pionex, and then doesn't mean that you have to follow that chart. If you don't like that layout, if you don't like how they do it, and you want to use the other ones, you can totally track and follow on the other ones without having a wallet established. But we can kind of see where the big sells are. We have a big increase on the 357 price as a sell wall. We have the 373.9999. Somebody's trying to be tricky under the 374. Big sell. 380. We know this level is going to be common throughout until we get over that hurdle. 392, 399. This is going to obviously be the $4 hold number. Psychological wall, plus everybody's going to try to be very actively trading. The fun thing is when you get to these whole number walls, especially coming up with momentum, depending on how much momentum we have coming out over this hurdle, this chunk could just get blown through. One, you might see a lot of sell orders get pulled as they pull back, trying to get more profit. Because if momentum's carrying 380, 390, 395, and you leave your $4 sell order active, it's going to get wiped out, and then you're going to come back into your account and you're going to see the price all the way up to 5, and you're going to be like, oh man, I should have moved my sell up. I missed it. So bots and algorithms will do the same thing. If momentum's picking up and carrying, these sell orders will get canceled. I'm pretty confident that this 497 to the liquidity shelf that everybody knows about, I'm going to say it's actually probably this one. This 497 to 544 is probably going to get canceled until the price runs up and discovers itself and gets back into that plus $5 range. People are going to be sitting there waiting to see if, is Bobby going to put more liquidity in? Is he going to buy up more? Is he going to push us into 7 early now that we've got up to 5 if the market shows? Those kind of questions will cause sellers to then be the ones that are hesitant and pull their orders and let buyers be in control and kind of dictate the price movement. So Bitmart is our largest exchange. Activity right now based on CoinMarketCap's data, which is great. We are looking at the 15-minute. There was a nice surge 15 minutes ago that we missed by being on Pionex. It's probably my bots. When my bots placed their order, they probably spiked that price back up. So everybody who looked at their wallet at that time and saw 380 as a price, you're welcome. I'm looking on this one. I threw a couple lines on when I was tinkering around with it. This consolidation zone is going to be a hot little topic around the 351 price, 350 price. You see the candle wicks here. You see the sharp drop off here. You see the little bump and run, or I guess the little pop and drop kind of thing that happened here, and then we see our wicks bouncing off of it here. So this is going to be a zone going forward. 350 again, that's a whole number. 25.50, part of that $5 5-cent increments. That's going to be psychological levels, even within the whole dollar amounts. So we'll be looking if we could get our 333. It'd be really cool to sell at 350 and see if we can't get a lead on the bots, get ahead of them. I did the same thing with this. This is a ray that I did, which touched across the top of those wicks and the top of this wick that's established. I meant to do that one, so I'm glad I get to show you. But see, not the 2-plot ray. I want to do just a 1-plot horizontal ray, because when we've talked about these large wicks of indecisiveness, these will kind of outline and show us the support and resistance that we have of where the buyers are stepping in and where the sellers are stepping in. We're going to make this one, it's got to be blue because the other one's blue, and we're going to make this one be whatever this color is. I never graduated from the Crayola 8-pack, so my color combinations are in the Roy G. Biv spectrum. But nice little spot there. Yeah, looking for a good move up. This big sweep and push up kind of is going to reset the algorithms, and maybe some of those bots kind of follow suit and think that we could be getting excited and moving towards some buying pressure. I know we're midday that I was talking about where we're not. I'm going to have to move my buy up. These guys are going to fill this order without me. I feel like my bots are winning. So if we come in here and we go into Trading Bot, it should show me what they got going on. And if I go to detail, the one that's losing money. I'm assuming it's so mine is, I guess they're technically both 0. The one that I set up is technically losing because I set up the AI one first, which created a buy and pushed the price up, and then I bought on top of it. Even though the average, or that's current price. Where's my price? Does it show what I'm in? Yeah. No, it doesn't show. I think it shows on the phone what I bought in. Current price. 1 round. Oh, 0 rounds. This one hasn't done anything yet. Interesting. Which makes sense why this one hasn't made any money. It's just been the fees for activating the bot, I believe. So you're welcome for creating profit for the bot already. Go back to trade, spot trading. Sorry if this video is long and I lose your guys' interest. Just want to kind of introduce this challenge and get some more familiarity with you guys on how I look at the market and kind of like what I'm doing and looking for beyond just the quick plot when I already have a very, I'm just plotting for fun just to look for patterns. This is where I'm actively looking for trades and actually engaging, and following. We have the equities market going on in the background. As much as people want to say crypto and equities are different, they line up. If you follow Bitcoin specifically, but the whole crypto market in general, you can overline it with the NASDAQ, with the Tech 100, and their charts line up. So if people are not bullish on tech companies, they're not very bullish on tech currencies. So that's part of the overall market sentiment that's holding all the cryptocurrencies kind of down right now. They're considered a risk asset. Anything that has higher risk has higher reward for people when we're on the uptrend. But when there's uncertainty in the economy, we have the Fed being very indecisive on monetary policy. If we're needing to ease or tighten, that causes people to risk off. They buy silver and gold, risk off asset, or they hold cash, which is silly on their part because cash is losing value if it's sitting in your wallet. So if it's not working, it's losing. So I'm going to go ahead and end this now. If I get any action going, I'll start up another one. But considering we're in the middle of the week, middle of the day, I think this one's going to sit kind of idle. At a minimum, I'll at least give you guys a screenshot once I get my order filled, because it looks like I'm going to have to chase this a little bit, and I'm probably going to fill all the way. Right now, if I did a market buy, I'm going to go all the way up. I'm going to take out this whole order block. I would have to go all the way up to 338 to fill up a market order. So hopefully somebody decides to sell me at a value so I could get a little bit of money. Not trying to be greedy. I'd love for the price to go up. But for the sake of trading, I want to show these bots who's boss. So hope this helps you guys. I like to see the activity. I love seeing the engagement in the Telegram group with more and more people getting active in the bots, with getting their TXC out of DEX trade and onto these better exchanges, even if it's just for the visibility for the exchanges, and show the liquidity. We want TXC to be shown off as a top holding, as a favorite, as a growing activity. We want to see it on the 24-hour volume spike. You know, we're still sitting in that 80,000 a day coin range. I think on some of the better days we get up to 88. On the worst days we're sitting closer to 80. And that volume, coin wise, is kind of slow and is slow. We need to kind of push up and see 100,000 coins a day being traded. That activity will keep the engagement going and will keep the bots and the price and everything active and in a bullish sentiment. So I'll let you guys know if I get this filled. And oh no, looks like I am getting them filled. Look at that. Perfect time to end the video, as I think I'm going to have this filled just in time. So, all right, bots, it's you versus me. See who wins.